Yo, what up, guys? Um, at work, I figured I'd give you all an update on the Kratom withdrawal and how that's going. Um, I'm currently on day 7, absolutely no Kratom whatsoever, and just trudging through. But man, the last couple days, the depression really hit me hard. Um, I'm still getting a lot of restlessness at night. That's something that's kind of new. A lot of restlessness, fragmented sleep, um, which is a pretty common side effect and well known. So, between that and the depression, probably that's ensued the last couple days, has been probably the hardest out of the entire stretch, including the beginning. I think this kind of took a little while to get out of my system, and so I'm just being cautious on what to expect. But man, the mental withdrawal from this, not even cravings, like I don't even have a craving for it. It's just literal. If it feels like mental warfare in your head, like you'll just be having random thoughts, and conflicting thoughts. Like that's another thing, is like a lot of conflicting thoughts. It seems to me that it's just a very sensitive emotional state, getting off this stuff. It could be also because me personally, I got off Wellbutrin a few months ago, and I stayed off because things seemed to be good until now, until about a week ago for me, that depression has started to set in. But I don't know if it was caused by the kratom or if it's just my natural, this is my natural cycle going through, seasonal depression or having depression set in again after being off the welly. Not really entirely certain, but part of me just wants to continue going, for as long as possible, years without anything really hitting my receptors. I know I might need some help at some point, but for now, I think it can be as manageable as it possibly can, especially being this early into the process. I think that really there's only up to go from here, even if it's super small and super incremental in the tiniest way. I think that things can get better. One thing I do have to rely on is the depression usually starts to wane around 9, 10 p.m. at night. Um, so that's something that is, pretty common for me in the past before I even touched kratom. So it might not even be associated, is what I'm thinking possibly. But I'd like to see if I could get through it, because my ideal state would be on nothing. And I've been there before in the past, and I'd like to get there again. But in terms of any other side effects I've been dealing with, a little bit of tingliness in the hands, the extremities, and the face. It's got to be nerve related, but it's definitely dying down at day 7 now. It's definitely dying down. Starting to feel a little bit tired today after my first day of work. I measled 3 sets in the gym, and it was just hard, man. It's hard to get me motivated to, go to work and walk 15K steps and then go and drag my ass to the weight room and push out, as much as I could. So I did 3 different exercises, 3 sets each, and called it a day. I did chest, I did my biceps, and I did my back. And, that's good for me right now. I got to take it easy. But there is this kind of constant anxiety in my head that's like, man, you got to get your shit together. You were working out 3 times a week, 5 exercises, 3 sets each. And I'm just not at that state right now. And truth be told, if I had it my way, I wouldn't work out at all, because it's a lot of pressure right now. And it's a lot of mental pressure that I think I don't need. But, it must be, a small first world problem to have this, if I'm really honest, because there's a lot of worse things and worse places I could be personally. But the depression, the mental effects of this seem to be the most potent right now. If sometimes it literally feels like battlefield in my head during the days in particular. Usually most nights so far have been okay, but midday during the day has been extremely hard. Just emptiness, pure anhedonia, just an inability to feel anything. Like if someone tells you something joyful, good news, there's just absolutely no connecting that to an actual feeling of goodness. Like none of it matters really, is what it feels like. Just pure anhedonia. None of it matters. and just tiny glimpses of good feeling, though, towards the nighttime. As things start weaning towards the nighttime, I start getting, tiny glimpses of good feeling. So maybe it's possible that I could do this, without anything. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm not going to hold it over my head. I'm not going to hold myself hostage, but it's my ideal state, and it's a place that I've been before, and I'd like to get back to. So I guess this wraps up the first week of the initial withdrawal. I'm definitely glad that the initial phase is done. I haven't taken any gabapentin in 4 days, so I think my body has pretty much got rid of that. That could be the reason why I'm still kind of feeling a little nerve effect from, the gabapentin leaving my system. I know that stuff, stays in your system for a little while. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, it's gone pretty good, and I don't have any reason to really complain too much. So, fortunately, I'm just going to keep trudging. Obviously, getting more is not even a thought for me. And fortunately, cravings really aren't there with this drug for me. It's really just trying to calm down the mental effects that I think drawed me to it in the first place. And now that I see a little bit more clearly about these things, it should just be a straight shot, a long journey ahead. I only used about 6 months total time, about 30-40 grams a day, in case anyone's wondering. So that is a short amount of time, but even from this is my third time I've quit. The first time I was able to use a little bit of DXM, which helped, mitigate the withdrawal almost completely, but I remember feeling like shit for about a day or two. But the real brutality of the Kratom withdrawal did not hit me until the second time. And then I realized, this shit had already sunk its claws in me. Between the second and the third time, I've just, had a hard time, trying to stay with it, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this. My mind is a little tired right now. Just worked, 8 hours and 15K steps and exercise. So I'm fucking tired. But, yeah, all we can do is keep going, and just keep going in the state of anhedonia. It feels lifeless, honestly. It feels like I have no soul. It's the saddest thing, honestly, I've ever experienced. And you can't even tell from the outside, really. But if one were to transport in my head, they'd be like, holy fuck, this is a nightmare room, There's just like absolutely no feeling. But I can't be stuck on that. And basically, I'm just using the nights right now to help me get through. At least I have every night to look forward to. So once I get out of here, clock out and go home and relax, I usually start feeling better. And that's just my natural circadian rhythm. So don't let this video scare you. There's a good chance, I'm someone who's very prone to depression and anxiety. So if that's not you, and you didn't have a massive depression or anxiety problem before this, I think you're in the clear. But I really would like to fast forward time to see if things will work out for me in that regard, because this could be not related to the Kratom use, although I highly doubt that. If anything, the Kratom use is severe, making it much more severe. So, yeah, that's just it. Small update. Day 7, wrapping it up. Just going into day 8 as of like right now, literally. The last time I took any was last Monday at about 10:30 p.m. It is now 10:40 at the following Monday, and we're going strong, baby. We're going strong on this one. All right, thanks for watching. If you're having trouble quitting the Kratom, I totally fucking understand. This shit is much more devious than it appears, for sure, 100%, at least in my experience. So, all right, guys, I'll post them with an update probably within the next half a week to a week. So, this video is just to help anyone if they're going through the same thing. If you've made it to 7 days and you feel pretty good, then consider yourself pretty lucky, because it's been a little bit rough at the tail end here, but we're going strong. All right, peace out.